Let's get back to the source of emotions. Tony Robbins, in his Get the Edge program, devotes an entire CD to the question of from where do emotions originate and what to do about them. He proposes a rather extensive analytical process, which in this situation may be somewhat interesting. But when you're on top of this 10-foot fence, only 6 inches wide, it won't keep you from falling off. Signals in the brain travel at the speed of light, too fast for analysis. I liken the process to dominoes being knocked over. Something works out as expected. Remember, your personality has something to do with your expectations. Or something doesn't work out as expected. That's the first domino. Standing quite close is the next domino, which is emotion. For most of us, there's no choice. Event, and then the reaction in form of an emotion. However, in a healthy model, there's no problem with this chain of events. Truth is that we are emotional beings by nature. It's what we do with the emotion that is the problem. For most of us have learned that some emotions are bad for us. They can either affect our health or they just feel badly. No fun. Can I let it be is a question that's important to ask. Let's go back to the first step. If you can let it be that something did or didn't work out as expected, then the second domino never falls. But as I said, it's okay to be emotional. It's our limbic brain that produces the hormones that result in emotion. The problem is that throughout our lives, we've caught a lot of suggestions about why we should not have many of these emotions. We've gotten these suggestions from others and have created many from early immature experiences with emotions. Or maybe we saw someone else have a problem with a certain emotion and never wanted a similar event to happen to us for fear of embarrassment. Let's look at a few basic emotions. Why should you avoid or not allow yourself to be angry? Maybe it's because 1. You'll lose your temper and say something stupid. Or 2. You'll look stupid. Or 3. Others will know that they're getting to you. And there is a basic emotion like confusion. Why shouldn't you feel confused? Again, maybe it's because you're supposed to know what you want. Or 2. You won't be taken seriously. We could do this for every emotion, including happiness. Yes, many do not allow themselves to feel happy, fully happy, because 1. There are so many people in the world with so much less than they have. Or 2. They'll be setting themselves up for the big letdown. Now here's some information. When you allow yourself to feel an emotion, it disappears. Let me repeat that. When you allow yourself to feel an emotion, it disappears. What does that mean? It means that all the things that we've been taught about avoiding emotions isn't helping the situation, only prolonging it. It's saying that we need to acknowledge all the beliefs that we have about different emotions that keep us from feeling them. Specifically, write down all the reasons why you shouldn't feel depressed. Please turn off the CD and make a list. That is, if you're in a situation where you can do it. If you're listening to this in a car, make the list later when you get home. Good. Does your list have some of the following? Like 1, it feels real bad. 2, no one will want to be around me. Or maybe 3, others will think I'm a bad apple in the barrel. Or 4, there's no reason for me to feel this way. Or 5, something about feeling sorry for yourself. But strangely enough, when you can allow yourself to feel the emotion, it disappears. Or shall I say, when you embrace the emotion, it disappears. Now let's avoid confusing this with wallowing in the feeling of depression, because this can happen if you misunderstand what I'm saying. So I'll say it several different ways. Think of it this way. Dealing with an emotion, not feeling it, is like a long run-on sentence with lots of commas, semicolons, hyphens that make the sentence run on forever. The period is the end of the sentence, the end of the emotion, the end of the experience. So your experience of depression can be a long run-on sentence, usually because you're avoiding it, or because one or more of the beliefs I listed earlier are keeping you from feeling it, or it can be a short sentence. The emotion itself doesn't care. Once you arrive at the period, it's over, and you now have space for something new in your life, and will be aiming you towards more interesting activities. But then again, you might be thinking, there's nothing new in which I'd be interested. So if I got rid of the depression, what else would there be in my life? That's okay. It is only a belief that says you should wallow in depression, and it will be taken into account. Now, if you cannot let it be that something or a group of things do not work out for you, you might feel depressed. And if you can't let it be that you are depressed, then your health could be jeopardized. But let's take a look at this domino thing from a different perspective. If you can't let it be that you're depressed, then you are at the effect of whatever didn't work out for you. Symbolically, you have this thing that didn't work out for you above your head with strings coming down. And it's like you're a puppet on a string with what didn't work out above you running your life. For instance, many years ago I made some very bad business decisions and almost lost my business. I was depressed and let everybody know I had every right to be depressed, as I did. It just happened that I was attending a workshop during this time, and someone had his wallet stolen during a break. When we came back from the break, he was ranting and raving about his stolen wallet. And what was I thinking? You jerk. You're only missing your wallet. I'm losing my entire business. The workshop leader led this fellow to understand that his life was going okay until the event occurred. Well, like my life was going okay until I made those bad business decisions. Well, this event that occurred left him feeling angry and upset, and that this occurrence was now running his life. Well, my bad decisions left me feeling depressed, and it was now running my life, as though he had become his stolen wallet. At that moment, what the instructor said hit me like a ton of bricks as I realized I was being my lost business. Totally at its effect. And when you wallow in an emotion like I was feeling sorry for myself, it killed any creativity I might have had. Anyway, at that moment, it was like I took off this heavy, heavy coat as I realized I have a depressed business as opposed to I am a depressed business. That realization was the turning point to lifting my depression. Of course, it would visit me from time to time, and I'd let myself know that I am me with a depressed business, which enabled me to put my business back together within a year. Ultimately by embracing the emotion instead of wallowing in it or resisting it. Look at it this way. There's Mr. Depression floating around looking to have fun with somebody. He sees you fighting or wallowing or denying your depression because of some learned belief. And Mr. Depression says, hey, I got a live one to have some fun with. Now, there's one rule of psychology to remember, and that is what you resist persists. So the more that you fight or deny depression, the more he holds on having a great time. When you stop fighting it, allow yourself to feel it, as each person in the following examples has done. You release Mr. Depression from your life. Now make sure you avoid wallowing in depression. It's important to talk to yourself somewhat like this.